Okay, I'll call the meeting to order, and I'll ask for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Milligan, Councillor Fenwick, all in favor? It's carried, thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? None declared. Items for consideration. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in my closed session agenda. I better get out of that. I was just reading it before we started. Okay, we have no statutory public meeting and no one's registered for open forum. We have no presentations or deputations, so we move to Section 8, which is items for consideration. The first one being 8.2, road allowance closure application of an unaddressed County Road 1 East parcel. The recommendation is that the report entitled Road Allowance Closure Application Unaddressed County Road 1 East be approved, and that Council directs staff to proceed in stopping up, closing, and conveying the portion of the unopened, unmaintained municipal road allowances identified on the submitted sketch. Can I get that on the floor with a motion, please? Councillor Milligan, Councillor McDonald, CAO White, did you want to address this?
Actually, we have planning support in the audience today, or with staff, so if there's any questions, or she can give a bit of a preamble if you would like.
Okay, Holly, is it you?
Thank you, Reeve-Wise. So yes, it's an application for a road allowance closure. It is for a piece of property located between Newburgh and Strathcona. It's on the south side of County Road 1 East. The applicant submitted the letter back in June requesting that Council consider stopping up and closing the approximately 1.5 hectare area. It's a long, linear, unopened road allowance that extends from County Road East 1 all the way south to your municipal boundary. So the full road closure is being sought. It would not be a partial piece. It is intended to help reconfigure some rather awkwardly situated and unopened and inaccessible properties that currently include the barn in the middle of the road allowance. Excuse me, my throat is very dry right now.
It's the wood smoke.
Pardon me?
It's the smoke.
Maybe it's the smoke, or maybe I was talking to Jake too much today, so sorry. So yes, it's in order to facilitate a more orderly organization of the properties. There is currently 2 residential dwellings. One does not have actual direct road access right now, so this would provide for a lawful access to the road. And the current road allowance does have a barn in the middle of it, so it would allow for the assembly of that road allowance to the property to the east in order to create a larger land assembly. And it's anticipated that the owners of the property might come back and seek some further planning applications in order to do a lot assembly and potentially require some minor variances in order to reallocate these 3 separate parcels. There were, it was reviewed by the county. The county had no concerns, no conditions. Reviewed by Public Works, no concerns or conditions. And the Quinte Conservation Authority also did review the application. There is some regulated features and karst on the property, but not in the area where the proposed closure is to occur.
Turn this on. Thanks, Amy, and sorry for calling you Holly. I will get it straight.
Nope, that's fine.
Any discussion, council? Any questions? We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 8.3, request for participation in the Palace Committee Homelessness Working Group. Recommendation is that council receive the request for participation, for information, and further that council confirm the members of council that will participate in the working group. Jason, did you want to elaborate on this one?
Thank you, through you, Reeve-Wise. There's not much to add to the report. This did come out of a recent Palace meeting that I believe we have representation at through Mr. Councillor Davidson, but we were asked to circulate and ask if there's members of council who were interested in participating in this meeting. We do have 3 councillors who have showed interest, but Just wanted to, through this process, confirm council's participation in this meeting, and if there's any other names or modifications to those 3 names.
Okay, any discussion, and anyone else that wants to step up to participate in this activity? Councillor Woodcock.
Yes, I'd be very interested in participating in that committee. I had prepared an entire speech, but I will save it.
Okay. And we already have interest from Councillor McDonald and Councillor Milligan, and Deputy Davison is involved because he's on the Palace Committee at the county level. So there's no limit to the number that can participate, I'm assuming.
I just would prefer to avoid quorum, I guess, at by
That's
having
an
too many
interesting
members of council.
situation, yeah.
But there wasn't a specific limit provided, just making sure that we do have the appropriate and a good representation from Stone Mills participating in the process. And I'm not sure, maybe Councillor Davidson would have anything to add as well.
It'll be recorded, sorry. It'll be recorded, so I don't think quorum's an issue, will it not be? It's an open meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Wenda.
I think my name was added on that list as well, but I didn't hear it mentioned by you, Reeve-Wise.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't make note of that, Wenda. That's my mistake. Were you on it, Wendy? It's the Wenda issue again. Okay, let the record show that Councillor Land, Councillor Milligan, Councillor Woodcock, and Deputy Reeve Davison will be participating in this exercise. I didn't get a mover, did I? Or did I? No. Is there further discussion? Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Councillor Milligan, Councillor Woodcock, all in favor? That's carried, thanks. Eight point 4, staffing update, development services coordinator. Recommendation is that the report staffing update be received for information. Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Deputy Reeve Davison, Councillor Fenwick. Did you want to make the announcement, Jason?
Sure, through you, Reeve-Wise, we did have a new staff member start today, and we're happy to have her. Stephanie Light has joined us as a development services coordinator. So she's had 1 full day under her belt in the exciting world of development within the township. So she's getting climatized and getting connected to all the systems we've got. She was able to meet with members of staff by way of introduction, and conveniently enough, Amy's on site today to meet with her in person for today and tomorrow. And we were able to welcome her with some pie at lunch as well. And so hoping that she felt a warm welcome to the organization today.
I hope so too. And we have a mover and seconder, and could we add to that motion just that we welcome Stephanie and wish her all the best? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. 8.5 is the British Home Child Proclamation request. The motion is that Council receive that report entitled British Home Child Awareness Proclamation Request, and that Council proclaim September 28th as British Home Child Day, and the proclamation be posted on the Township social media platform, and that the British Home Child Day flag be flown for the month of September. Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Councillor Milligan, Deputy Reeve Davison. Any discussion? All in favor? That's carried. This has become an annual thing, and I'm sure Glenda Griffin will be pleased. And she will be informed that we're going to do that. Thank you, Brandy. 8.6 is Royal Canadian Legion request to purchase ad for the Military Services Recognition Book. The recommended motion is that Council receive the report and that it be funded through the advertising budget line, and further, that Council delegates the approval of all future requests for ads for charitable purposes to staff in consultation with the CAO. Can I get that on the floor, please, with the motion? Councillor Milligan, Deputy Reeve Davison. And Brandy, did you want to elaborate?
Thank you, Reeve-Wise. So yeah, just requesting delegated authority to approve request for ads specifically for charitable purposes. And then we can put that through the advertising budget line. The township typically receives about 2 requests a year, one being from the Royal Canadian Legion and the other being through Mad Canada, typically both about the $350 range. So it just made sense for staff to approve that process rather than it going through council and eating up the council donation budget line if it's an advertisement.
Any discussion or questions in that regard? So you're going to come forward with some sort of policy to cover this then?
Through you, Reeve-Wise, yeah, we'll look at policies for like parameters to approve such requests, so it gives staff kind of a guideline of what can be approved and what wouldn't be approved.
And I assume that that policy would include something to the effect that if there's any gray area or doubt, it would come to council.
Correct.
Very good. Anything else? All in favor? That's carried. Thanks. 8.7 is complaint management and resolution policy. The recommendation is that council receives a report and that council adopt a bylaw to adopt a complaint management resolution policy. Can I get that on the floor, please? Councillor McDonald, Councillor Milligan, Brandy.
Through you, Reeve-Wise, individuals now have the opportunity to escalate complaints about services at the municipal level to the Ontario Ombudsman. And the Ombudsman's position has been that all resolutions should try to be addressed at the municipal level, and therefore you should have a policy for dealing with such complaints. In review of the township's policy, there was no policy on how to deal with complaints about service or staff and how those complaints are escalated before they would go to the ombudsman and what that process is. So just putting forward a policy for staff and council and residents so they know what the process is for that, if such complaints needed to be escalated.
Any questions or discussion? Understand this is not about public complaints about neighbors' noise and so on and so forth. This is particularly people who have a problem dealing with the township itself, correct?
Yeah, so the type of complaints would be complaints about levels of service. So, for example, if we weren't making, if the clerk's office wasn't making available minutes, agendas, bylaws to the public, and someone brought that complaint forward, and I said, oh, okay, yes, I know, I'll make it available, and then I failed to do so, they could then put in a complaint that I'm not following through on that level of service. If it still wasn't addressed, then they can bring it up to the ombudsman. It would be the same about a level of service for grass cutting if we weren't meeting that standard level. Same with snowplow operations. If we weren't meeting those service levels, they could put in a complaint and we would go through the complaint process to address it at the municipal level. And if it couldn't be addressed at the municipal level, then they could go to the ombudsman to complain about it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't cover complaints about members of council. That would go through the code of conduct complaint policy. So that goes through a different process, and bylaw complaints go through a different process as well.
Important to differentiate. Wenda, did you have any comment? I thought I saw maybe your hand up there. Go ahead. We're not hearing you, Wenda. No? Not coming through? Just bear with us, Wenda. We'll try to get you audible
Okay,
here.
I'm unmuted. I muted myself just a second ago because my dogs were barking.
Oh, okay.
And you may have seen me move.
Oh,
So
I
you might
see.
have thought, yeah.
Okay,
I'll unmute myself whenever I have something to say.
very good.
But
Okay.
they do bark when people come up the driveway or whatever, and that's annoying for you guys.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions about this one? Did I get a mover and seconder? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay. 8.8 is a bylaw to adopt alternative voting methods for the 26th municipal election and school board elections. The recommendation is that the bylaw to adopt alternative voting methods for the 2026 municipal and school board elections be enacted and passed, and the Reeve clerk be authorized to sign and seal. Can I get a mover and seconder for that, please? Councillor Woodcock, Councillor Fenwick. Any discussion? Did you wish to add anything to the report? It's pretty clear, and we've done this before. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 8.9 is a proposal for a kayak rental pilot program. Recommendation is that council receive the report entitled Proposal for Kayak Rental Pilot Program, and that council directs staff to implement the proposed pilot program for a duration of 6 weeks, and that a comprehensive report be prepared and presented to council upon conclusion of the pilot program to detail findings and recommendations for future programming. This was prepared and submitted by Cindy. Jake, did you want to address that? Oh, okay, Jason's going to address it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a proposal as outlined to pilot the use of our fleet of kayaks for a potential rental program to just gauge level of interest and see if there's any opportunities to kind of operationalize the use of these kayaks beyond the handful of times throughout the summer that we run the kayak program, where there's a number of people who sign up and all go out as a group using the kayaks. Outside of that, they tend to sit idle or in storage. So it was suggested that we look at an opportunity to see if there'd be uptake in the community to self-serve with some of the kayaks and access them on a body of water, and if that's successful, then potentially expanding that usage next summer by offering it for a longer period, maybe at more locations. But a small program here with a limited time window will give us some information to see if that's something that the community is interested in.
Thank you, Jason. Did I get a mover? No, I didn't. Can I get a mover for that? Councillor Milligan, Councillor Fenwick, any discussion or questions? Deputy Reeve Davison.
Yeah, through you. Jake, will the kayaks, how secure will they be at the park?
Yeah, through you, Reeve Weiss. I haven't really been super involved in this. This is kind of something really worked hard on by Clerk Teeple and, as the report says, Cindy Hike. I believe the plan was to have them locked up with a key and a padlock and chain, and you come to the office and you do your rental, you get a key, and you go back. I mean, it's just a padlock, and it's just probably not a very super heavy chain. So, you know, the opportunity is probably there for theft. It's one of those things, though. I mean, I was talking, you know, you're kind of doing a SWOT analysis on something like this. I mean, there is the threat of vandalism in all parks and stuff. But I think the idea, when they came to me with the idea, was that it could be a good program for the community. And I would hate to see the threat of theft or the threat of vandalism prevent, you know, something good for the community from happening. So that was my initial takeaway from it. So
I agree. My thoughts were that it is a possibility in that location, and that we think our way through it before, you know.
Anything further? Yes, sorry, Randy. Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Fenwick. Okay.
Okay, through you, Reeve Weiss. So we are looking at alternative methods for securing the kayaks to limit the threat of vandalism or theft. There are some outbuildings in that location that we could potentially store them in. So we're looking at the options to kind of make them the most secure way, but accessible to individuals when they go and pick them up.
Yes, go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, and to Jake's point and Doug's point, and Jake said it perfectly. I think it's a great thing. I read this and I thought, this is wonderful. But again, it's taxpayer items, and we got to make sure we do diligences in order. One of the things we should be considering is GPS trackers. They're not expensive. They could be hidden within the kayak. There can be decals put on them indicating that they're there. proper signage, and maybe even a camera. Because if this does expand, we would want to make sure that we don't have a bad experience here and then cost us the opportunity to expand it elsewhere. But whoever dreamt it up, bravo, I think it's fantastic.
Thank you, Rob. Anything further? Yes, Councillor Woodcock.
Just, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, those GPS trackers, and that's also like an alternative safety function too of wherever it is on the lake. And I like the idea of a small testing so we can see how it goes. And then I think it's a great program to offer the community, especially when we already have the most expensive part in our possession. So I think it's good.
Anyone else? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, the final item under section 8 is a summary of public consultation regarding Yarker Riverside Park. Recommended motions are the council accept the report, and the council directs recreation staff to work with selected landscape architect to prepare amended drawings that reflect received public feedback and directions described within this report. Can I get this on the floor, please? Councillor Woodcock, Councillor Milligan. Jake.
Yeah, through your revise, did the best. Cindy, that would be Assistant Cindy Hike, did her best to consolidate all the public feedback, and actually there was quite a public, it was actually well attended, the public consultation day we held at the park. There was quite a bit of social media feedback as well, and we did our best to try to consolidate that in the discussion here, and to come up with, I guess, it's kind of difficult. There's a lot of different ideas when you go to the public and something like this. But I think it was the wish of council that we would kind of take the public's opinion, analysis, and kind of put it into the plan instead of just doing our own thing. And I kind of hope that we're able to do that with our directions. And I know there are councillors, definitely Deputy Reeve Davison, who's, I believe this is his family's land, and he has some strong opinions on that, and I know that he's probably gonna mention or add or something to it. And I think it's a good, this is kind of why we're bringing it to council to talk about what the new plan looks like. So.
Thanks, Jake. Any discussion or comments at this point? Yes, Councillor Fenwick.
First of all, I'm assuming that, Jake, did you prepare this report almost exclusively yourself? Because if you did, whoever did the report, I know sometimes, Jake, you say you did it and then you give praise to other people, but whoever did it was fantastic. I read it front to back over and over again. I'm thinking, wow, I just wish I could write reports like this. It's really exceptional. And the fact that you took so much time to basically engage everybody, and I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. I really am. And I'm thrilled for not only all the people in Stone Mills, but the people in Yarker who have had a bit of a rough go lately. This is going to be fantastic. And I just bravo to who has spent this amount of time on it. I am very excited to see this, so thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Anything further? Councillor Woodcock.
Yeah, I also really like it. I like that we did open it to the public for comment. I know it's no easy task then to go through those things, and of course we can't do everything that everyone suggests, and I'm sure it was no easy feat to like bring it down to something manageable. So I just think it's great, and I think it's the right approach, so people feel involved whether or not we take all their ideas or not. I think it's good for our democracy. So
Anything further? In that case, I'll call a question. All in favor? That's carried. Very good. Thank you, Jake. That's the end of items for consideration, and we come to our consent agenda. Is there anything anyone wishes to pull out separate from the consent agenda? Nothing. In that case, can I get a mover and seconder for the consent agenda? Councillor Milligan, Councillor Woodcock, all in favor? Oh,
just because I wasn't here for I don't feel like I should because the minutes, so I wasn't here for the minutes, so I think someone else should second it. That's all.
okay. Can I get another seconder? Councillor Fenwick. Thank you, Councillor Woodcock. All in favor then? That's carried. Thank you. I'll get past all these resolutions here. Holy smokes. Ah. Number 11, any notice of motion? Councillor Milligan.
I would like to make a direct motion. Do I just go into what it's about?
I'm entertaining notices of motion first.
Oh, okay,
Was there
sorry.
anyone with a notice of motion? Anyone with a direct motion? Go ahead.
Okay, so do I just go into what my direct motion is? Okay. So it was recently brought to my attention that the Ottawa Valley Powerboat Club, who do the boat races in Aaronsville at Beaver Lake, they've been coming for 18 years. They used to lease the land from the township. We had a lease agreement with the province who owns the land, and the powerboat racers were never charged a fee to use the land. So that lease was up, I think 2 years ago, or at least 2 summers ago. And so the past 2 summers, the club has been charged a fee to use the land. So in 2024, they were charged $750 plus tax, and this year they were charged $1,540 plus tax to use the land. So I was just thinking, since this is such an important event to, it literally brings hundreds of people to the community. They use our stores and our restaurants, and I just thought it might be just a bit of goodwill if we can give them some form of donation as a gesture to help them recover some of their costs for the use of the land, which, again, I said they've never had to pay before, but now they do just because of the infrastructure. Ontario hasn't decided what they're doing with the land yet. So that was my direct motion. It's, for those who don't know, it's a free 3-day event for the community, and like I said, they've been coming for many years. And I just thought I would let council decide whether they thought they would like to make that gesture to show not only the powerboat racers that we appreciate them choosing our community, but also to the store owners and the restaurant owners that we would like to support people that support them. So that's my motion.
Is there a seconder for that motion? Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Councillor Latland will second that.
oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so do I need a motion to agree to the direct motion or just a consensus? Yeah, so is there a consensus of at least 2/3 of you that we entertain this direct motion? Does anyone have any violent objection? No? Okay, so Councillor Milligan has moved that we offer some unspecified level of financial support, and Councillor Land has seconded that. Is there any discussion? Yeah. Yeah, what is the amount that you're seeking then, Sherry?
I didn't really pick a figure. I mean, so they've spent approximately $3,000 over the last 2 years that they hadn't spent in the past. So I was thinking even anything, you know, around $500 or something to come out of our donation budget if that was the wish of council.
Okay, so the motion then would be to support the club to the tune of $500. Is there any discussion in that regard? Councillor Fenwick.
Yeah, just so I'm clear, the fees that they paid were not to us. No, they were to the Ministry of, yeah. So do they charge for participation in the event, like they're participants themselves? I know they don't charge admission to view or to be part of it as a spectator. Yeah, that kind of thing. Are they kind of making, is there any revenue involved in it? Do you know?
I don't know those details. I don't know. I just know it's a free event for the community.
I was actually able to see it this year for the first time, and I did see it was a very big crowd. I know that the tavern, Beaver Lake Variety, and a lot of the businesses in Tamworth would have benefited enormously from it. And it's long. It's not like it's a few hours. I'm trying to think of any other events that are similar that we do anything similar to. Like, for example, I know that the dog jumping competition in Newburgh, they do approach us for some support, do they not? We just approved some of that recently. It wasn't, and it's only for a handful of hours and compared to 3 days for local business. Tough one, eh? I'm just not familiar with whether or not they are making any revenue from their participants. And then at that point, it makes it a little harder to support it. But if they aren't per se, and all the support is coming to us from the event, and there's really not a lot of overhead other than that, it makes it difficult. We could potentially see them choose another venue, and that would not be good for us, I think. That's a tough one. I would be in support of it as long as we don't believe we're setting some sort of a precedent going forward. Like in this particular one time, for now, until we can maybe help them to have a discussion with this lease going forward, so that maybe we can get that part of it omitted over time. If you don't have any more information about how they're billed, if they had a 100% increase from year to year, where that number comes from, you don't have any more information on that.
Can I respond? The only thing I know is that it's a set fee from Infrastructure Ontario for land use. So that's where, the first year apparently was a deal at $750 because it was a surprise. They didn't know it was coming. And then the $1,540 was what the fee will be going forward, plus insurance. Which
Councillor
they need
Woodcock.
anyway.
Yeah, I see Rob's point a lot, because if it is a for-profit thing, then are we offering a donation to a for-profit event? At the same time, I see Sherry's point that it's supportive in the community. My other thought is, could this be a notice of motion and we get more information, or is it a timely thing that has to happen now? So it's just another,
I'm assuming that's why it's a direct motion, Sherry, that you want it dealt with right away for some reason.
Well, I mean, they would have already paid it, so I'm sure it was just more a measure of goodwill is what I was thinking. I'm sure if it's the wish of council for me to get more information, I can do that too.
I think we should.
Okay, so there seems to be some concern just about the nature of the operation in terms of profitability and so on and so forth. Can Sherry defer her direct motion to a notice of motion for information purposes, gathering information?
If there's a consensus with council, we can record it in the minutes as a notice of motion. And then I would maybe request that we add in there, is there any direction to staff to reach out to the powerboat race organizers to inquire if there's entry fees, or what kind of answers is council looking for?
That would be great if staff could do it. I don't know those contacts. I heard from the business owners.
Okay, so is it agreeable to the seconder that this become a request for further information from staff, and that it's now a notice of motion? I'm assuming people are agreeable to that, and that come back to the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, that's satisfactory? Yeah?
yeah,
Go
and I
ahead.
also think that's helpful then too, long-term, if we know more about the way it's structured, is it volunteer run, that kind of thing, that can tell us like future ways that we can continue to support it with more information. So I think it would be helpful.
Councillor Fenwick?
One small last point before I forget it. We should also, maybe staff is familiar with the activation fund through LNA County, and they may or may not qualify for some financial relief from that. That because they bring traffic into LNA County, and that is a possibility that maybe they can really make a difference. Just we should make a mention of that.
Is that agreeable? Okay, so see if the activation fund has any funding, and if this would qualify. I think maybe those funds are all committed, Doug. For next year.
For next year.
Yeah.
There would be I would think, a group that would qualify.
Yeah. You got all you need, Randy?
Yep, just so everyone's on the same page, this is a notice of motion that council considered donating to the Ottawa Valley Powerboat Races in the amount of $500, and that staff reach out to the event organizers to determine their cost and any entry fees that are paid to them to generate revenue. We can report
Okay,
back on that.
Everyone happy with that? All in favor? That's carried, thank you. Any announcements? Councillor Milligan.
I have two announcements. The first is that on Tuesday, August 12th at the Tamworth Legion, starting at 11 o'clock. There will be a Service Canada representative there to help people through applications or just answer questions about the new Canadian Dental Care Plan, the CPP, old age security, employment insurance, and any issues with their social insurance cards or numbers. So you don't have to register, just show up at the Legion at 11 and it'll just be a couple hours, however much time is needed. That's the first announcement. I just got to find the second one. Oh, yes. So on Saturday, August 23rd, the new Tamworth Sabres men's hockey team is partnering up with an association called Next Shift Hockey. Next Shift Hockey helps to eliminate financial barriers for kids who want to play hockey. So their mission is to make hockey accessible to every kid by providing free equipment and possibly, from what I read, possibly financial assistance as well. So people that might be interested can just reach out to tamworthsabers@gmail.com and they will answer any questions you have. And on that same day, there's a fundraiser dance and event at the Legion for the new men's hockey team. It just all kind of happening in the same day, and that's the same weekend as Fire Fit. So Tamworth's going to be very busy.
Yes, so. Thank you, Sherry. Anyone else with an announcement? Well, I have something. It's not a happy one. I think we're all aware that Greater Napanee Councillor Dave Pennell died suddenly recently, and I just wanted to extend, I think on your behalf and staff, our condolences to the colleagues, family, and friends of Councillor Pennell. And I think perhaps we could draft a letter, Jason, put your signature and mine on it on behalf of council. Would that seem to be appropriate? Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our open session. We have a closed meeting pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act. The reason for the closed meeting is to receive advice on a subject that is subject to client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Can I get a motion? What do you need for this meeting? We'll return to this meeting, will we not?
Yeah, a motion to go into close.
I just need a motion to go into close. Councillor Milligan and Deputy Reeve Davison, all in favor? That's carried. We'll take a brief break. Okay, you're back live. So during closed session, council received received legal opinion on an issue and discussed that. And do we need?
Just a motion and that direction was provided.
Direction was provided to staff. And what else do you need besides confirmation of proceedings?
So just a motion from council authorizing report.
Okay.
So moved by someone, that direction was provided by staff.
Okay, Councillor Milligan, seconder. Councillor Woodcock, all in favor? That's carried, thank you. Confirmation of proceedings. Can I get a motion to confirm proceedings? Deputy Reed Davison, Councillor Milligan, all in favor? That's carried. Motion to adjourn. Councillor Fenwick and Councillor Land. I'm sure she's motioning to adjourn and go back to bed.
Yes, I
Your
am.
fluids. Thank you.